Oh my gosh, I have never met two people more delusional in my entire life.
This is like death by 1,000 cuts.
If I win this matchup this week, I'll be ordering for Mason Silence. Fantasy football easily has to be the number one thing that can just absolutely ruin your night. It's Thursday night. I think I'm safe. I'm going out to the Halloween bars in Austin with all these decoration and cocktails with my girlfriend. Mason and his girl join us. We're having all laughs, good times, everything. I don't even check the box score. I look at it after the first drive or two in the first quarter. Jamar Chase has like 2 catches for 10 yards. I don't check it again until I'm walking to my car 2 or so hours later in the fourth quarter. I look at my phone having a conversation with my girlfriend and I open it up and I say, let's check the box score as I'm getting into the car here. And I just see that Jamar Chase, to that point in the game, had 14 catches, 120, 130 yards and a touchdown, over 30 fantasy points. And there's still a whole quarter left or so of football. And the smile and cheer in my face just went to absolute darkness. The ride home was quiet. My girlfriend's like, hey, why'd you get so quiet all of a sudden? And I'm just like, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's not. Jamar Chase is about to cause an argument between me and my girlfriend after a great night out. Avery is clearly now favored. I actually woke up this morning extremely sore. My entire backside was sore. I was waddling around my entire house and I was like, what happened? And then I remembered that Jamar Chase ultimately just f***ed me yesterday. Avery is now the clear favorite after you get 38 points. But thankfully it's from his best player and not like one of these guys who is probably going to underperform. So we now need, if we want any chance of winning, probably 160 points. It looks like the winner of this matchup is going to have, which is kind of the expectation coming into the week. But we need at least one of Avery's players to underperform. Now, we do have our 2 strong running backs. Those guys are basically averaging per week right now like 25 fantasy points, with each of them having 30-point games. So there is still a chance we can match that production from one player. It's not completely over, but man, spotting 38 to 39 fantasy points on Thursday Night Football is a brutal mountain to have to climb. If there's one guy who can do it, it's Jamar Chase. But if there's another guy who can do it, it's probably Christian McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor.
Let me tell you what really grinds my gears and pisses me off more than anything, and I am going to dominate everybody in this league because of it. The Fantasy Stock Exchange, guys. Oh my gosh, I have never met two people more delusional in my entire life. They're the only channel last year that didn't have a single playoff appearance. And we go ahead, Corey lost the damn league and is sitting at 3-3 right now and acting like he's the hottest shit on the planet at 3-3. Danny has scored the second fewest amount of points in this league, but has luck boxed himself into a 4-2 record and think he's set for domination now. They have the nerve to talk to me and talk trash to me. I'm 5-1 at the moment, cruising to 7-1. Look at my next 2 matchups. I haven't got to play the 2 easiest teams in the league yet. Just absolute dominations from start to finish every single week. And they think that they are here to talk trash. This is like the Buffalo Bills going up against the Raiders. The Bills are winning 27-7 in the third quarter. Ashton Ginty picks up a first down, walks over to Josh Allen and tells him to suck it. Like, what the... The only people, and I mean the only people that can talk trash to me. One, Sal, because he is the only person who has scored more points and we have the same record. Sal, by all means, come at me. I'm rooting for your downfall, but I'm not going to get upset if you come out what was once the king, but now you're the king, I'm your queen. So the dev team, because they beat me, dev team, they can talk all the trash they want, right? They've done something. But if you haven't beaten me and your record's worse and you've scored fewer points, and you come at a superior, what? I'm on a warpath. I may not make another trade the entire season. The guys in my building are going to stay in my building, and I'm going to beat the piss out of y'all to my championship.
Mason, it's not okay to yourself off in public, bro. It's not okay. You want me to say it? Yeah, I came in last in this league last year. I'm not pretending that I have like an excellent, dominant history of winning this league or anything. I'm talking trash because it's fun, because it gets under your skin. You're yelling in your car, sweating after a run, and it's funny to me.
Mason, can you even be consistent on the narrative you're trying to peddle? Like last year, when you got outscored by 6 and 8 teams, by 7 and 7 teams. Again, by the way, you were 9 and 5. You had the bye week. You let everybody know about that. You did that last year, but you were playing elite defense. But you were an elite coach. This year, when I'm not putting up as many points as maybe people want to see in the box score, You're saying I'm lucky?
So my plans after the Marvin Harrison trade kind of went up in smoke here. I had my lineup set. It was all ready to go, and then shit started hitting the fan. My plan originally was, okay, Josh Downs going to be my starting lineup. I'm going to double flex a tight end, and then I can't do anything because I have one extra player on my roster, but it's fine because I'll just go into the week with that team construction. But Marvin Harrison gets ruled in, which is surprising, and it's funny kind of because Nathan obviously traded him away thinking he wasn't going to play this week. So I just have to drop Michael Mayer and put a guy who I think is a really good play this week on the waiver wire. And instead of playing Michael Mayer, because I don't want to drop Kendre Miller either, I have to play Kendre Miller because he's my only other healthy option when my whole team is injuries and buys. Not a great situation for you, boy. Already down in the matchup, but at least we get to watch Marvin this week.
All right, look, I just want to sympathize with Nathan a little bit here. Obviously, with Marvin Harrison not being ruled out. As a fellow 2-4 team, if Nathan had done nothing, I think people would have been upset with him for not trying. So he tried something. Like 9 out of 10 wide receivers who get rolled out of a game with a concussion do not play the next week. So it felt like very certain that Marv would miss this week and then have the bye. Obviously, now with Marvin being ready to go, that trade, I mean, it looks bad, right? There's no way around it. It just looks bad. But at the same time, at least Nathan did something.
All right, it is early Sunday morning and the London game is just about to kick off. Now I have a bunch of flex options that I could play this week, but I honestly have no idea who to play. Grandpa, who should I play?
Jordan Whittington is who you must stop, Papa. Trevor, what are we doing? Hunter's wide open.
Well, it looks like Badake is going to get his first win of the season. Against yours truly, Davante Adams just dropped the third touchdown. I want to cry. I'm going to smile. I'm going to smile through it. But realistically, 3 touchdowns in with Davante Adams. Travis Etienne scored 3 points. It can't get worse than this.
Look, I'm no genius at fantasy football. I mean, I'm 2-4 in the Flock League right now. But I could have told you, Nick, that you don't want to put Puka Nakua's backup wide receiver in your starting lineup. I just realized that Jordan Whittington is in your wide receiver 2 spot. And now I don't have to worry about the upside shot of like a Chuba Hubbard or an Ellick or something like that. So Whittington with like 2 points on the day. But yeah, I've been there, done that.
Well, Grandpa Danny was definitely wrong.
I'm a little confused, to be honest. I was told by Corey that Rashee Rice was going to average 13 points per game and Xavier Worthy was going to be the guy there. But Rashee Rice has 23 in the first half and Mahomes has 24. It's just really confusing to me. I guess Corey getting dunked on by me and Danny and fantasy receipts. Look at this. This is nuts. Maybe that'll teach him a little bit of lesson that he literally knows zero when it comes to the Chiefs offense.
All right, Avery, you got me. I was wrong about Rashee Rice. It's been 1 game, but I was dead wrong. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. Xavier Worthy definitely looks like the number 2. Thankfully, I don't have him on my roster anymore, and Marvin Harrison didn't miss a single game. But yes, it does appear that Rashee Rice is here to stay, and I will give my formal apology to Team Zero Dark Avery because you got a dog. You got an absolute dog.
So far, the matchup of the week living up to the hype. Because, yeah, my team's going off. I do have the best team in the league again, but Sal's probably right there with me, unfortunately. And even though I'm projected 180 this week, Sal is projected 160. And so my win percentage is not that high. It's going to be a shootout between us, but 2 top dogs going at it. What else can you ask for? We'll see who ends up winning this one. Scratch that. Devonta Smith just scored an 80-yard touchdown, so now I'm projected for 200 points. It's pretty good, isn't it? You say, yeah. Yeah, okay, there we go.
It is official. I am now projected to lose against the worst team in the league. Injured, leaving my team when I need him most. My round 1 pick. I'm going to lose to the worst team in the league. And honestly, it's my own damn fault. I could be the number 1 team right now. Looks like Sal's going to lose. And this is how my team's showing up.
Things are looking bleak, but this is why I took you 2nd overall. This is why you are the team captain of Team Lad. Sleeper may only give me a 24% chance, but when I have you in the lineup, I know you got me, Sedarian.
All right, so the late window's opening up, and I feel really good about where I'm at because Mason, Achane, Justin Fields gets benched. Nothing really too scary. I'm actually favored to win. right now, especially if Emeka plays on Monday, which is still something that I'm, feeling a little bit sketchy about. But we're in this. We're actually in this through the first window of games.
So we don't have 4 players in the Washington Cowboys game anymore. We have 5 players now. Okay, so here's the deal. Thomas, all of his players pretty much shit the bed in the early slate, and I could either start Luke McCaffrey or Woody Marks. My rankings say Woody Marks. However, I want to be a part of the meme, the Luke McCaffrey meme, and that's for better or worse. I probably am going to end up regretting this. I spent like 30 minutes arguing with my chat as to why Chris Moore was just as good of a play as Luke McCaffrey, and I guess it's just kind of a meme at this point, so I just thought it would be funny to throw Luke McCaffrey in there. Maybe that ends up making me look like a dumbass later on. I don't know. But we now have 5 players. So Luke McCaffrey legacy game. Do we have it on tap? I'm going to trust the chat. The next clip you're probably going to see from me is like, yes, I am a dumbass. I should have started Woody Marks over Luke McCaffrey, but I listened to the chat. But I actually went and put a poll up yesterday. I'm abusing my powers with fantasy than football. And 40% of the people are rocking with Luke McCaffrey. So I'm a man of the people, and we're going to embrace the meme for better or worse.
Let's go! CDM! Woo!
Look, Badake said he wouldn't submit clips until he gets a win. I'll submit the clip for him. Right now, he's got over a 70% chance to beat Mason Dodd, and Zach Ertz just scored a touchdown. This could be a special week in fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. This could be a special week.
All right, halftime in the late window, and I was gonna make clips earlier, but I was just waiting for anybody on the team to do anything. We need to smarten the up. We came into this matchup entirely too overconfident, and we're being absolutely humiliated.
We're at halftime at the 4 p.m. games, and it's at the point where there's a good chance I'm going to score the second most points this week, like 150 points. And it just doesn't even matter because Avery is projected to score like 210. It is so frustrating. This will be the highest scoring team on the entire season that I will be facing this week, but we're pretty much locked in. It looks like Mason's going to lose. We're pretty much locked in to still being the #1 seed as long as we keep this gap within like 40 or 50 points against Avery. This is frustrating, but look, I got lucky earlier on in the year. I faced Zach. I barely beat him. He scored the second most points in the league. So maybe this is just karma. Either way, we're still going to be #1 after this week. Maybe Christian McCaffrey drops a 50 burger on Sunday Night Football and we actually have hope in this matchup. But as of right now, it's looking like Avery's going to win. So GG's.
Jaden Daniels just hobbled off the field. I keep saying I don't know how many injuries I can take, and then I trade my injured players, and then the players that I trade for get injured. Yeah.
Sucker crap! Let's go! Oh shit! Big 6! Oh my god, what timing is that?
Come here, let me show you something. Second touchdown of the day, Josh Jacobs. Oh! And y'all thought Badake was beating me. Don't get too excited too soon.
Yes, I'm filming a clip while driving, which I know is ironic, but the reason is if I literally died right now, I wouldn't care. 200 points, projected 206 points, and win percentages in the 60s. Realistically, I mean, I'm going up against Christian McCaffrey. I mean, everybody on Sal's team. Chris Olave, best game of the season. Trey McBride, best game of the season. Justin Herbert, best game of the season. I've never scored this many fantasy football points in my life, probably, and I'm going to lose. Like, this game is cruel.
All right, the main Sunday slate has concluded. Let's take a look at the matchups heading into Sunday Night Football and the games on Monday. Let's start with the matchups that are already over. Nathan is going to take down Nick, the editor. Nathan's going to move to 3-4. Nick is unfortunately going to fall to 1-6 in a bit of a hole there. Zach has it all but wrapped up against Thomas. He's up by 20. Thomas has got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Zach has newly acquired Drake London as well as Jameson Williams. Zach will likely be moving to 3-4. Thomas dropping to 4-3. The Ladster and all of his awful players in his starting lineup, even though Travis Hunter did break out this week a little bit, he looks like he's going to fall to Dev Rowe. Dev Rowe trailing Danny currently by about 4 points, but the Devs have Jahmyr Gibbs as well as Jackson Smith-Njigba to play tomorrow, and all Danny has left is Ken Walker. And how sweet is this? Barring a Jared Goff disaster. Badake is going to take down Mason Dodd. Mason is up by 10 points. All he has left is his kicker. Badake also has his kicker. He has Jared Goff and Zach Charbonnet. The self-proclaimed king of the league is going to fall to Badake, who is 0-6. It could not have been written any better. You love to see it. My matchup against Bush is going to come down to the absolute wire. We were favored heavily coming into this, and we were a little too overconfident, and it cost us. Justin Fields, awful performance. 4 points for my quarterback is not going to cut it. But going into Sunday Night Football, Bush and I both have our kicker, and we each have 3 players left to go. I am up by less than a point. We're basically tied. We both have 4 guys left. I like my odds here, but anything can happen. It's going to come down to those games tomorrow night. And finally, our heavyweight matchup of the week did not disappoint whatsoever. The 2 highest scores of the week could be the 2 highest scores of the season from these 2 heavyweights. Avery currently sitting just under 170, Sal sitting at 174. Sal is up by 5. Avery has Rachaad White, Sam Laporta, and his kicker, Jake Bates, left to go. Sal is holding on to that lead, and he has Christian McCaffrey in the Sunday night game. This will also come down to tomorrow, but it looks like this might be one of the matchups of the year in the Flock League.
I just watched the final 4 o'clock games. The only way I had a chance in hell in this matchup was if Avery's players stopped scoring in the second half of the 4 o'clock game, and for the most part, Javonte Williams, for the most part, stopped scoring. Michael Pittman kind of stopped scoring in that fourth quarter, and my guys had to keep scoring. And Trey McBride scored another touchdown, had a bunch of more catches. Jonathan Taylor scores another touchdown. Justin Herbert has a career high in passing yards, scores multiple more touchdowns. I'm beating Avery by 6 points going into Sunday Night Football. I have Christian McCaffrey, who he's scoring at 25 points a week. If I can bank on 25 points, there's a chance that going into Monday Night Football, I'm up by like 30 points. And basically Avery has a kicker, Sam Laporta, and Rachaad White. But if we can just get a dud out of one of those players, Laporta goes for 6 points, Rachaad White only gets 10, and we're up by like 30 if we get our normal McCaffrey game, we might have a chance. One of us is going to score 200 and lose. And it's going to be devastating. And if Christian McCaffrey does what Christian McCaffrey does usually on Sunday night, we're going to have a Monday Night Football sweat somehow, some way.
I hate to have to be a loser and have to do this, right? If you're good at fantasy football, you can just be a winner and you can win your matchup, not have to worry about anything. But now, I'm no longer concerned about getting first in this league. I look at Mr. Sal Vetri, he's the king. Okay, I bend the knee. Hell, he is about to just absolutely demolish us in points yet again. And there's no catching up to Sal. So now, I need to worry about not getting to first. I need to worry about holding on to second place, which is embarrassing. It's horrendous. So my rooting interest has just flipped. I was initially rooting for Mr. Avery Huffman to take down Sal so I could reclaim the top spot. I thought I was going to beat Badake. I'm an idiot for thinking that. And now, Sal beat Avery's ass, so I can keep that number 2 slot, and I can hopefully still have that bye.
Yeah, I normally don't stay up all the way through these Sunday Night Football games, but Christian McCaffrey is playing, and I'm now in a sweat with Avery. And Christian McCaffrey at halftime has 18 fantasy points. Things are shaping up for me to break 200 points, and maybe at the end of this game have a chance to be favored over Avery. If McCaffrey, it's a lot to ask to have another 17-point half, but if McCaffrey finishes this game with 35 points, there's no way I'm not the favorite heading into Monday night. And then all the pressure is on Avery's team. And this is going to be a crazy thing if I come back and win from a 100-point deficit. Let's see what McCaffrey does in the second half, right? He'll probably get injured, but let's see what he does. Christian McCaffrey, I have to be quiet because my girlfriend's sleeping right now and I just want to scream. Christian McCaffrey just scored another touchdown. He has like 30 touches, 180 yards, I think, total. Highest rushing game of the season against one of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the best. I just want to let you all know that everybody clowned on me in the comments section. Whether I win this week or not, I'm currently projected to beat Avery now, which is just insane. I'm projected for 210 points, 60% chance to win. I would just like to say that everybody who clowned me in the comments section, if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt and misses the final 10 weeks of the season or 8 weeks of the season, at this point, it doesn't even matter the fact that he's done so much for me. Take the rest of the year off if you want to. Ideally, you don't. But Saquon Barkley today, I'm pretty sure, had like 6 fantasy points. Christian McCaffrey has 36 fantasy points today. Yeah, this is insane.
Sunday Night Football coming to an end here. George Kittle, 2 targets, 0 points. I don't know if he was limited because of the injury. I don't know if Mac Jones hates him. Could we add points for blocking?
A couple of things are going through my mind. I'm so wired right now by this potential comeback in Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I'm so wired right now. I'm probably just going to do all my Monday morning work when I get up at 4:30 right now and just stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning because I'm so goddamn wired. Okay, couple things I want to call out. One, Avery is no doubt about it still in this, right? Obviously, he has so many players left in a really high-scoring game, but Avery has had so much heartbreak on Monday Night Football already this year. If I was him and I lost a matchup where I scored potentially 200, especially if it's like a heartbreaking loss of like a point or two. But you remember earlier in the year, Marion Hampton against Mason, of all people to lose to, he loses to Mason because Marion Hampton like can't get 4 or 5 fantasy points, whatever it was. That's terrible. Imagine losing after dropping over 200 points, potentially, assuming that his team does decent. He has 169 right now. I have 212 points this week. There literally should not be a loser in this matchup. If I look at this league is Avery, me, like all the beef, all whatever, it's all out the window. Respect for Avery, whoever wins this matchup, because I just want to say the rest of this league is borderline pathetic. There is going to be a team that wins this week by barely breaking 100 points, right? Zach is projected to score 106 points, and he is going to win this week. And either me or Avery is going to score double that and lose. Unbelievable. There's a chance that we might have to do a call. Like, we might have to get just a wellness check on Avery if his team does not come through and win this matchup, because I know I would need it. All right, now I just want to talk about something when it comes to Mason Dodd. I know he was just being funny in the chat earlier. I hope he was being funny, right? When he said Sal has the lowest percentage chance to win, like do better, when like I was scoring a bunch of points, but just facing a dude who was dropping a load of 200 points on me. So I know that Mason was saying that. He was just, I assume, trying to be funny. But I think, here's what I think, and I'll let Badake, I'll let him handle this if he wants to. But Mason basically ordered, when he was the king of this league, Badake to never talk again. And since then, you haven't seen Badake in the videos, right? I haven't seen Badake. I know people in the comment section are saying, where's Badake? Well, Mason said, as the king of this league, you can never talk again until you win a game. So Badake said, all right, basically, you, I'm not going to do it then. So Badake, of all people, with his banged up team, gets 3 touchdowns from Devontae Adams in the early slate. Mason's team lays the biggest egg I have ever seen. And Badake's first win of the season comes against Mason as the king of the league, no matter what after this. And if I get the approval from Badake, I believe we should not see Mason Dodd in any more videos moving forward until he gets back on a win streak and in the win column after what Badake just did to him after this week. If I win this matchup this week, I'll be ordering for Mason's silence.
There has never been a team, never in the history of this league in the regular season, to drop 200 points. Avery right now is projected to score 207, and he is projected to lose. Avery is we've done this league all last year, which was the regular season, 14 weeks, 14 times 12. Please throw it on the screen. How many individual performances have we had? And Avery comes through and he puts up the best performance that we've ever seen, literally out of hundreds, and he loses. That is pathetic. You freaking loser. That is more embarrassing than losing to Badake. Certify it, stamp it, whatever you want to do with it. If I was Patrick Mahomes and I scored 26 points for you, I'd retire. If I was Jamar Chase and I gave you a 38-point lead on Thursday night, if I was Devonta Smith, I gave you 183 receiving yards and the receiving touchdown, and you still managed to lose, your players showed up for you. The game plan clearly did not work out. You let McCaffrey drop a 40 bomb on you. Embarrassing, pathetic, and honestly, I don't see how you recover from this.
Mason making clips about my team after losing to Badake is just so funny to me. Mason, I got some advice for you, sport. Until you win one of these, you should probably just shut up.
Okay, look, so there's all this talk about like single week point records being broken and stuff, and I would just like to present some facts in this case, because I'm all for someone breaking the record. Hell yeah, like, let's do it. But the record is 217. That happened last year in the playoffs when I beat Mason Dodd for 3rd place. Yes, it was 3rd place, wasn't for the championship, but it happened. So if you're going to talk about breaking records, then you got to break 217. All right, let's keep that straight.
Mason, you can't even do math right, man. 217. That's what Zach put up against you in the 3rd place game. He just showed it to us. You're grasping at straws so hard. Brother, you're losing to Badake. Don't think we didn't forget about that.
Happy Monday, everybody. As you can see, I'm very happy. It's a very happy Monday. Here's what's at stake tonight. I'm projected to lose. I'm projected to break the points record in the regular season in the Flock League. There's never, ever been somebody who's scored as many or projected to score as many points as me in the regular season, except for Sal this week. So I'm predicted to lose tonight. What's at stake is probably a first round bye, probably, first or second in the standings as well, and a whole lot of bragging rights. I've got Rashad White to play. I've got Sam Laporta to play, and I've got Jake Bates, my kicker, to play. I am down 44 points now. I mean, Christian McCaffrey just took me out behind the barn and just beat the piss out of me. But we still do have some hope tonight. If we can somehow pull off a miracle, it would be one of the most entertaining and fun fantasy football games I've ever been a part of. We'll go into tonight slightly hopeful, but mostly accepting that we just lost this game where we dropped 200 points. Who am I kidding? We need some confidence. Here's some confidence. Tonight, we put up more than 45 points. We beat Sal, we shut Mason up, and we break Zach's point record as well from the third place game last year. That happens tonight. See you on the other side.
So tonight is very simple. We're up by about 28 points. Thomas has Amon-Ra St. Brown left. I have Jameson Williams. I knew I should have gone with my gut and started Woody Marks over Luke McCaffrey, but did it for the meme. If Amon-Ra St. Brown has 30 points and Jameson has 0 or something crazy like that tonight, I'll be on life support. All indications are I should win this game, but I'm just telling you guys, I'm freaking out right now. I'm worried. Even up 28 points. I mean, Amon-Ra might not even put up 28, but what if he puts up 39 and Jameson has 6? I will vomit.
My team is terrible, but I have one good player. Amon-Ra St. Brown, please save me.
So going into Monday night, it's our kicker versus the world. We have a 10-point lead, and we are going up against Jared Goff, Zach Charbonnet, and Badake's kicker with just ours. A lot of y'all would say that this is an impossible matchup. A lot of y'all would say, Mason, it was never going to happen. Don't be delusional. And all I ask is, do you want to go back to last season where I had a 4-point lead going into Monday night, and I was just playing Christian McCaffrey, and the McCaffrey was a healthy scratch, he was a surprise inactive, and we ended up winning. Do you want to go back to when we needed to fade 4.5 points from Amari and Hampton on Monday night, and what happened? He scored 3.9. Do y'all want to go back to when all I needed was 40 points from Jamar Chase? It would never happen, and it did. So one thing that we have learned over the past 2 years, there's just one guy in this league with the clutch gene, and that's yours truly. And I'm thinking Jared Goff may slip on a banana peel his first play out there, and it may not end well.
Bro. The first drive, this guy scores a touchdown. I'm preparing for heartbreak right now. 7 minutes left in the first quarter, and my 28-point lead has evaporated to 15. Not even a quarter of football.
Mike Evans looked like he was out cold there. Can barely walk off the field. Carted to the locker room. Immediately ruled out. Hopefully it's not a season ender, but God, that's terrible. Not the way this Monday night needed to start for us.
So it's halftime in the Lions-Bucks game, and my 28-point lead is now basically 8 points. 20 points for Amon-Ra in the first half, none for Jameson. Jared Goff is at the point where he would rather throw into double coverage than throw to a wide-open Jameson Williams. So this is death by 1,000 cuts. Being up by 28, your opponent having Amon-Ra, you having Jameson Williams, and you're just slowly every drive watching your lead fade away. And at this point, the sleeper projections, quite frankly, are bullshit. I mean, they say I have a 94% chance of winning. No, I might have the 6% chance of winning at this point. It's over in my mind. It's already over.
Halfway through the game, I'm not watching anymore. It's not worth it. Congratulations to Sal. Your team is a unit, man. And for me to put up this many points and lose shows how good your team is. GG's to Sal. Sal says that we're the top 2 teams in this league and then it's everybody else. I 100% agree with that. I will see you again in the championship, my friend.
All right, well, we're going to scrape by with the win this week. Jameson scores no points at all. And somehow we win with 2 goose eggs in our roster. Luke McCaffrey, Jameson Williams. I think there comes a point in time during the fantasy season where you start to face reality, right? Okay, so yes, if Jaden Daniels, who had 20 points at half, didn't get injured, I probably would have had more points. If I started other players outside of Luke McCaffrey and Jameson Williams, right, we could have more points, right? But let's face facts Our team's ass. So we're switching the narrative. Yeah, of course, if Bucky was here and Puka didn't go down with it, yeah, I mean, who knows what would have happened, but we're ass. For the rest of the year, we're not going to pretend like we're a good team. All right, we're going to be 100% honest and transparent with you guys. We're a bad team. We just need fantasy to be unpredictable and chaotic every week, and we need to be on the beneficial side of that chaos. The haters said, Zach, you built a terrible team. The haters were right.
Let's wrap up week 7 here. The matchups that we talked about already being over after the main 2 slates on Sunday. All of those teams held on to win. Nathan takes down Nick. The Devs hold on to beat Danny. Zach barely holds on to beat Thomas. Thomas with the late surge from Amon-Ra. Badake also holds on and takes down Mason for his first win of the year. It's just incredible that Badake's only win of the season has come against Mason.
I'm back. Let's go. What's good, fam? Look, it's been a minute. Like I said, I wasn't gonna submit clips until I get a win, and I finally got a W. And it's been a while, and I appreciate each and every one of you lifting me up, saying you got this, Badake. I see your comments, but I just wanted to be better for you, and that's what I finally got. I achieved this week. In week 7, and it was against one of the guys that has one of the biggest heads, the guy who talks the most shit, the guy who kicks you when your players have season-ending injury, okay? The guy who thinks he's at the top of the mountain, but in reality, he's at the bottom, and that's Mason Dodd. And Mason, respectfully, f*** you. I mean, I love you, but f*** you. You talk so much shit, you laugh. You know, that really hurt me. Now, this is better. You losing to me with the team that I rostered, that's more embarrassing. Yeah, I may not make the playoffs, but we know damn well your team's not good enough to win in the playoffs, okay? And you're not gonna have a bye week this year. You're not gonna do this. And you keep talking about last year. You're saying, remember last year when I was this? Remember last year? Remember that? It doesn't matter. You know what you sound like? You sound like a delusional Cowboys fan. And that's what Cowboys fans do. They said, oh, remember back in the 80s? You remember that time that we won that playoff game? Or remember that time that we won this? It doesn't matter. And you know what happened now? You know what happened today? You lost. Okay, look, and let's do this together. I want also to remind everyone what I lost this year. Joe Burrow, who's also connected to Chase Brown, who I have as well. Malik Neighbors, out for the season with ACL. Tyrone Tracy, who I drafted and who was the lead back until he got injured, and Cam Scatterboot was an absolute dog who I love. Trey Benson, who I was expecting James Conner to get injured, not a season-ending injury. He plays one game. Evan Ingram, who everyone wanted before the season started, is nowhere to be found. Now, it was 0-6, and let's do this together. Shall we? Wow, this is going to be, oh, yeah. There it is. There it is, Mason. You know what that one is? That's your loss.
Now, let's get this shit out of the way. George Kittle does nothing on Sunday Night Football, an absolute goose egg. And then Mike Evans, before scoring any fantasy points, goes out with the broken clavicle. Looks like he's going to be out for most of the season. I mean, you can't expect to win a matchup with 2 goose eggs and 4 points from your starting quarterback. So Bush is going to take me down here. I'm going to be 3-4, and life sucks. There is no point. And our heavyweight matchup of the week proved to be an absolute slugfest. These two teams going at it. Avery scores close to 200. Sal scores 213. Avery needed a miracle from Rashad White and Sam Laporta tonight on Monday. He did not get it. So Sal will move to 6-1. He will be top of the league going forward, alone at the top at 6-1 going into week 8. So at the bottom of the league, we're going to have Badake and Nick both at 1-6. At 3-4, we will have myself, we will have Nathan, as well as Zach, all sitting at 3-4 in 8th, 9th, and 10th. Then we're going to have a run of 5 4-3 teams. Bush, Dev Rowe, Danny Ladd, Thomas the editor, as well as Avery. And then Mason, a game ahead at 5-2, and Sal sitting up top at 6-1. These standings are still very close. Anything can happen up until these bottom teams at 1-6, really. What a week of matchups in week 7. Can't wait to see y'all in week 8.
Mason, go to bed.